All right, think about it. You use, what, dozens of apps every single day, and you're trusting them with some of your most personal information. But have you ever really stopped to wonder what's actually keeping all that data safe? Well, I guarantee it's not what you think. Let's break down this invisible fortress that's protecting your digital life.
So how does your favorite app actually stay safe? You might picture some kind of super strong digital wall, or maybe one secret password that protects everything. But the reality? It's way more clever than that. The best security isn't just a single shield.
No, it's a whole system of interlocking defenses. The biggest mistake people make is thinking security is just one thing you can buy off a shelf. It's not. To really understand it, we got to think less about technology and a lot more about a medieval castle.
Yeah, that's right. I want you to imagine your favorite app isn't just code, it's a fortress. And inside its walls are priceless treasures, your data, your identity, the whole shebang. And just outside, it's under constant, relentless siege from attackers.
Okay, so how do you defend a castle? Well, you definitely don't wait for the enemy to be banging on your front door. The first line of protection has to start way, way beyond the walls, shaping the very landscape the attackers have to cross.
This all starts with something called DNS, the Domain Name System. Think of it like the kingdom's official trusted map. Its whole job is to make sure that when you try to visit the castle, you're sent to the real front gate and not to some clever fake that bandits built out in the woods. Once a visitor is on the right path, they hit the very next defense, the Web Application Firewall, or WAF for short. Now, this isn't just a passive wall. It's an active, intelligent guard that's inspecting all the incoming traffic, looking for the classic telltale signs of an attack. In our castle analogy, the WAF is the fiery moat and the towering stone walls. Its job is to stop all the obvious, brute force attacks, the digital version of siege engines and battering rams, long before they can even scratch the paint on the main gate. So, our visitor has been guided by the map, and they've made it past the outer defenses. Great. But what about the journey itself? The road to the castle can be long and winding. Couldn't a spy be listening in? Well, that's why you have to secure the path. We do this with something called TLS, or Transport Layer Security. You've seen this a million times. It's that little padlock icon in your browser. What it does is create a completely private, encrypted connection between you and the application, scrambling everything, your password, your messages, all of it, into unreadable gibberish for anyone trying to eavesdrop.
It's kind of like an armored, secret tunnel that just magically appears between you and the castle gate. Anything you send through it is completely shielded from view. This means that even if an attacker is watching the road, all they see is the tunnel. They have absolutely no idea what's happening inside.
Okay, we've made it all the way to the entrance. But just because you've reached the castle doesn't mean they're just going to let you walk right in. Nope, you have to prove you belong. It's time to face the guards at the gate.
And right here, the guards make a really, really crucial distinction. First up, there's authentication. That's just proving who you are. It's like showing your ID. Simple enough. But that's not enough. Next comes authorization, and that determines what you're actually allowed to do. I mean, just because you can enter the courtyard doesn't mean you get the key to the throne room, right?
So, you're in. You've passed the guards. But security inside the walls is just as critical, if not more so. A smart ruler knows that sometimes the real danger can come from within. You absolutely need internal controls.
One of those essential controls is called rate limiting. Just imagine someone trying to send 1,000 messages to the king all at once. The castle would grind to a halt, right? Well, rate limiting is basically a rule that says, hey, one person, one request at a time, please. It prevents any single user from overwhelming the system, whether they're doing it on purpose or just by accident. And then we have what might be the most important internal defense of all, backend segmentation. This is the simple but brilliant idea that the castle isn't just one big open space. It's divided up into secure, isolated zones with heavy, locked doors. The kitchens are separate from the barracks, which are totally separate from the royal chambers.
This is the ultimate safeguard, the locked treasury. An attacker might, somehow, get past the WAF, fool a guard, and make it into the courtyard. But with segmentation, the door to the really valuable stuff is still sealed shut. A breach in one area is contained, and that prevents a total catastrophe.
So, from the outer map all the way to the inner treasury, every single step was its own unique defense. And this brings us to the single most important rule in all of security. Strength is in layers.
Just think about that journey again. A request finds its way with DNS, the map. It's immediately filtered by the WAF, our moat. It travels safely through TLS, the secret passage.
It gets challenged at the gate by authentication. Its actions are managed by rate limits. And all the while, the kingdom's greatest treasures are protected by segmentation. Every single one of those steps is a potential failure point for an attacker.
Because here's the bottom line. Relying on any single one of these is pretty much guaranteed to fail. A castle with a strong gate but no walls? It's useless. A fortress with high walls but completely unguarded gates? Well, that's just a death trap. See, each layer on its own is vulnerable.
True security, real security, comes from making an attacker's job as difficult and annoying as possible. No single defense is ever going to be perfect, but what each layer does is it slows an attacker down. It forces them to make more noise. It creates friction. And that delay is everything. It's the precious time that defenders need to notice something is wrong and fight back.
So the next time you log into an app, just take a second and remember that invisible fortress that's working to protect you. And ask yourself, how many layers are protecting you right now? The more layers, the safer the kingdom.